Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we have my newest engine, which I have recently acquired. By recently I mean yesterday. It is the engine I put a poll up on Thursday as to whether I should buy the engine, and it was last week's video as to whether I should buy this thing. So this is Springbok. It is a B1 class engine. I don't know whether this is going to show on the camera. It's really not going to. Just, you have to believe me, it says Stratford on the front of it, which is where it's built. So it's built in Stratford, and that's sort of the general history of it, sort of. You can see by the side of it, the rods are off and needing a little bit of work done to them. I need the circle part. There's a little sort of circle spacer that I currently don't have. Not really sure where it is, but I'm hoping to find it in the next couple of weeks. And when I do find it, it'll go back on and the rods will be reassembled, and then we'll go from there. But the motor is the thing that I think is causing the issues with it, because obviously I've been working on it, or I may not mention this, but I've been working on it to get to this stage anyway, so I'm fairly sort of knowledgeable of what the engine needs and sort of the history behind it in terms of, you know, breaking down, what fixes have been done on it so far, and what needs to be done to get it working, or I think what needs to be done. So in terms of the engine, I very much have a history myself from working on it, as I've sort of been working on it for a couple of months now, obviously with the people who used to own it at the lovely Walthamstow Pump House Museum, and obviously up until yesterday it was theirs, and obviously now it is mine, and I will get started immediately with ordering parts in for it and putting some money into it. Also, it doesn't have a tender, but I already have a tender on watch list on eBay for a B1 in lner green, so I'll be acquiring that and then basically putting the engine back together into a full thing. It will also probably need a new motor, so I've got one on watch on eBay as well. And yeah, basically just gonna probably have to put it on the track, test it power wise, see what's going on with the power and all that sort of thing. So what I might do now is pause you guys quickly, and obviously it'll be a second for you guys, but it'll be probably a couple of minutes for me. Go and get a bit of track, set up a bit of track, and we can test it for power wise. So I'll quickly do that, and we will be back once the track is set up. Right, so we're back now, and the track is lovely and set up, as you can see here, with the wires just coming off camera to the controller. So I'm going to bring it in from the end in order to make sure the rods don't get damaged. It's coming into shot here now, so you can see the engine now. I was doing that so all these rods don't sort of get damaged and stuff like that, but it's on max power currently. Now there may be a bit of smoke, you might be able to see on camera here in a second, or it might light up a bit red. Just ignore that, because it's only the motor burning slightly out, so just ignore that, and I will turn the controller off if I do see such occurring. So let's turn it the opposite way now, which it might struggle with here. Just going to try and get all the rods to rotate. Hold up. Right, where do all these rods go? We'll try and just pin in some of the rods here, just to get them out of the way a little bit. However, it is not an easy task to do apparently. Okay, that's just, yep. We'll just ignore that as an option. And we'll just instead turn the engine around. And that should suffice, I think. Or not. Well, anyway. Right. Right, let me just hold all the rods off the track, and then we can put the engine on properly. There we go. Right, so as you can see, it's not really moving, and there's no sort of signs of life from the engine. We'll try and encourage it here. As you can see, it's not really sending out much hope of itself. So from there, immediately, there's definitely a few things wrong with it. I'm just going to check the rods haven't bent. By doing that, they all look fine, so should be alright. But effectively, an issue that we have is something between picking up power from the track and sending it to the motor and then sending it back down to the driving wheel doesn't work. Something in that chain is dead, kaput. It's had its life, it's done. So what we need to figure out over the next couple of videos on this train is where in that chain is there a break? Is it the motor's gone? I think it is. Is it that the pickups are not working properly? I doubt it, but it is possible. Or is it that the driving sort of gears inside the engine aren't working properly? Also likely. So realistically, it's probably all of the above. However, all of the above work off the motor, and the motor is a key part that pulls them all together. So I think the best choice is a new motor. It's probably the better choice, and then that should hopefully sort the issue out. First, I want to sort the rods out, so that's the main goal. Obviously I can't do that today as I'm missing a part for that, which I'm hoping to find sometime this week, and try and fix that. And then once I do find that part, we can put all the rods back together, which I'll do off camera. So hopefully next time we record this, which will be next week, it should all be sorted and all the parts back together in terms of the rods. So hopefully we can get that done. There's also a little, you can see a little hole at the front there, that needs a screw and a sort of holding thing, because obviously it's a split chassis, as you can see a line up top there. So it's sort of like a holding thing to hold the two chassis at a certain position to each other. So I need to buy a new one of them, which you can buy off Bachmann's Spare website. So I'll get a Bachmann Spares order in for that, and then put it back together with that new component part, and then replace the motor, and hopefully from there should be pretty much okay to go, and continue. So yeah, just a couple of parts to order and then we should have it all good. The body generally is in an excellent state. Cab's unpainted, suds quite nice. It's got all the windows in it, which is really nice. The front's not too bad. Obviously it's missing a buffer, so you can possibly see on the closest side of the camera. That should be easy to replace, I should think. But yeah, it's also missing technically some stairs. As you can see here, the stairs that come off that side, but not off that side. I'm not really too worried about that. I mean, you know, in the future, I can 3D print a part for that, whatever I decide to do, and that can be fixed in the future. For now, I just want the engine running, and then, you know, if it's got a missing buffer or a missing stair, I'm not too worried. I just want to see the thing running and be able to enjoy it running. That's the main goal. So for that, I need to order some parts, which means we need to wait a little bit for some of those parts to get in and arrive. Obviously next week we'll be back on this, but we will be having a detailed look and a deep dive as to what's wrong with it, what needs doing, what needs fixing, and stuff like that. Hopefully by then and I really hope I can find the thing that's missing. It is annoyingly small, but I'm hoping I can find it. If not, I have to order it, which I'm not even sure if that's possible, but we'll find out, I guess. But yeah, hopefully by next week's video, I'll have all the rods back together, or at least have the part on order for the rods to go back together. And then from there, we'll address what needs addressing next week, and we'll figure out what needs figuring out, and we can basically go from there. So until then, that would be the end of this video, which is basically introducing it and explaining the basic terms of what needs doing and what it is now and the state it is at, which is it doesn't run, doesn't particularly work, and needs some work on the rods, the motor, probably the gears inside of it, to get it back up to running, and needs a couple of parts and stuff like that. It also needs a tender. So some cosmetic work, some main driving work, and obviously some motor work at the same time, and rod work, and a bunch of work effectively is the answer to it, which we'll get into more detail of next week in a sort of deep dive sort of video where we properly take the thing, separate the chassis, and have a good look at what's going on, what needs doing, what can be done, and what needs to be ordered in to replace things. So that'll be the premise of next week's video on this engine. And as for this week's video, if you did like it, please drop a like down below. Please do also at the same time subscribe, as it helps grow the channel and helps mean I can acquire more things like this for you guys to enjoy seeing me put back together and struggle along the way doing it, because it always is a struggle. And when you do subscribe, please also turn on your notifications or the nice little bell icon, so you get notified every time I post a video of me trying to repair things and causing myself no end of stress. But at the end of the day, it is fun and I enjoy doing it, so I will continue doing such. Just wish they were a little bit easier to repair sometimes, a little bit less complicated, but then again, it's part of the thing, so just got to deal with it. But at the end of the day, it's quite fun to see you've worked on something and then it's running again, so I really enjoy it. So I'll continue posting them and continue posting repairing engines on this channel. So with that being said, I shall catch you next week for us having a good look at what's going on and how to fix it. So I'll see you all there. Bye for now. Bye.